just broke the cork off.
Oh, that's puke. Ugh.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'm just sensing some umami on this. Because, ooh, mama, that's good. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. Hello, everybody. It is Sunday night. It's sometime on a Sunday night. And I don't know where you are in the nation, but we flipped this morning from Daylight Savings Time back to Eastern Standard Time. I know not all states do that. There are some states that don't punish themselves with the clock. Let's leave that in court. But, and we gained an hour, which means if I was actually doing this at a normal time, it'd be almost 10 o'clock again, this Sunday thing. I'm telling you. It is what it is. All right, so let's get into it. Buzzard's Roost. The last time I did a Buzzard's Roost, it's been a minute ago. It was this one, the Buzzard's Roost Straight Rye Whiskey. It's barrel strength. We did this some time ago. And I've been nice to this bottle. I haven't gone crazy on it. But it's probably been a year or two since we did this one. And I remember, I think I picked this up in 2023, maybe even 2022. So I've been very nice to this bottle. But I remember trying this and really enjoying it a great deal. Well, they've come out now with a double oaked, or double oak. There's no ED on it. Oak. Double oak, not oaked. And so I picked it up, and it's like $56 or something like that. It wasn't outrageous, whereas this one was a little more expensive, as I recall. Now, whiskey prices fluctuate a great deal, depending on how well they're able to flood the market with their product. So who remembers anything? My favorite, the old Overholt 114. I remember when that was $36, and then I also remember when it was $19.99, and they were trying to get it off the shelves. They wanted to get rid of it. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So, Buzzard's Roost whiskey got their start in 2019. It's an interesting tale, and I'm sure it's how a lot of distilleries started. But Judy Hollis Jones and Jason Bronner met while doing a barrel pick. The two got to know each other, and the idea formed, hey, let's start our own brand. I know people that do that. I have done that. And so far, they're successful. So they turned to the Independent Stave Company. That's where they get their cooperage, their barrels. Worked with them to create a proprietary barrel for secondary maturation. So they're getting their stuff, and it's an undisclosed distillery. I'm thinking MGP, Ross Squibb. It's supposed to be an Indiana distillery. My nose itches. Bob is with us. Hey, Bob. So they got, again, I'll get to that in a minute, but they got with this company, and they decided that their products were going to be secondary barrels. Just about everything Buzzard's, matter of fact, I think everything Buzzard's Roost does is secondary barrels. It's just what they do. It was decided to use Char 1. Believe it or not, this bad boy is Char 1. Look how dark that is. Now, I know char doesn't necessarily add to the color, but you'd think that maybe it would have a little bit of an influence, but nope. That's a double oak. It's two oak barrels. I think it's gorgeous. They use Char 1 on all the barrels to let the whiskey access the oak influence more easily. Also decided to season that oak for at least 18 months. Normally, oak is seasoned about 6 months. That means left out in the open air to dry before it's turned into a barrel. The staves are left out, and then they turn it into a barrel after about 6 months. 18 months they let this wood sit, which is definitely going to bring out some new characteristics. Straight bourbon, finished in secondary oak. Sourced from an undisclosed Indiana distillery, or distilleries. It could be multiple. How many? I mean, I know there's a few Indiana distilleries, but there's really only one big enough to do a lot of sourcing. Let's see. This started coming out in April of this year. It's 100 proof. Mash bill on it is 75% corn. It's a little on the higher rye side with the 21% on the rye. 4% malted barley. Jason's watching. Hey, Jason. Welcome. Welcome to the show. So 75 corn, 21 rye, 4% malted barley. This is getting into that realm of what I would call a high rye. Anything over 18% gets that designation from me. That's my litmus test. If it's 18 or under, it's moderate to low rye. 18 or up, it's a high rye. Beautiful color. Again, all of Buzzard's Roost is secondary barrels. This one is just, they've put it in a secondary oak barrel, specifically to try to do oak. Now, there's two things that could happen with this. It could either get really oaky, and I've had some double oaks that have been very oaky to the point that it was almost tannic. Now, letting that barrel sit out 18 months is either going to be a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to find out. So it could get either really, really tannic, or it could be along the lines of like the Woodford Reserve Double Oak, which just gets very, very sweet. And the longer it sits, the sweeter it seems to get. By the way, I did have the opportunity to try the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. That one was interesting because it was both sweeter than the Double Oaked and more oaky than the Double Oaked. So it's just kind of right in between. But we're going to try this one out. This is the Buzzard's Roost Double Oak. Again, 100 proof, which is a lot different than this rye that I tried, because this rye that I tried, this was hot. This was 114.3 proof. Again, not super duper hot, but I'd need to try this again. It's been a while, and I remember really, really liking it. And I'd like to see what it's done now that it hasn't been touched in a year and a half or 2 years, whenever I did that last one. All right, we'll get this bad boy going. Ooh, very fruity, actually. Black cherry for sure. Yeah, beautiful. That's nice. You know, black cherry is something that comes a lot when you get that oak. And that oak is present on this. It's not, again, it's not throwing splinters up my nose. It's not horrible. I'm not getting that smokiness to it, but it's only in a level 1 char. That may have something to do with it. I don't know. There is a little bit of leather in it. I love that smell of leather on bourbon. Oh. That tends to give it a very complex note on the palate, so I'm a little excited now. And again, I've only had the one bottle, but I'm a fan of Buzzard's Roost. I think they do a good job. And that's kind of where a lot of the whiskey industry went over the last 4 or 5 years, is secondary maturation. Right? They get it from wherever, they source it from wherever. It sits in the barrel for however long, 4 years, 6 years, and then it goes into another barrel. And it could be a sherry cask or a rum cask or a whatever. Could be a bunch of different things. But port, wine cask. The secondary maturation has been really, really the evolution of the whiskey business. That and gimmicks, trying to make it faster. Really nice vanilla note there. Not an intense cinnamon or anything. It's there, it always is, but it's not intense. I'm getting more of the vanilla than that. Some, just a hint of butterscotch. I never write down notes anymore. You know, I'll go to the website and I'll see what they say, and then I don't even look at it, really. I don't look at it, I don't write it down, because I want to be able to create my own. All right, so that's the nose. Let's tip it. Whew, okay. Very steady climb on that blend, or on that bloom. For those of you new to the show, bloom is a burn. I don't like calling it the burn. I think it's pejorative. I don't like it. I don't want to call attention to that which somebody else might see as negative. So I call it the bloom. And the best way to get into a new bottle of whiskey is to get it on the tongue, Let it sit there for 10 to 12 seconds. Let it burn. Let it sit there. Let it, right? Then your next sip won't be as bad as far as that bloom, that burn goes, because you've already primed your palate. Right, so let's get into number 2. I will tell you that right off the crack, that first sip, there was a bunch of different flavors that came. And I wasn't even looking for flavor. I was just priming the palate. There's a bunch that came in. All right, so let's get back to it. All right. Yeah, that one was a lot less bloomy. Still, it was there, though. It was a really nice mouthfeel. I'd say creamy on the mouthfeel itself. It has a really, it's like coats the inside of your mouth very nicely. Beautiful. I'm going to guess, there's no age statement on there. I'm going to guess it's a 6-year. And then maybe 6 months in the secondary barrel. They don't tell you those things. But that would be my guess just off this. The mouthfeel is very nice. Now that secondary barrel is going to impart new mouthfeel, new flavors to it. So they could be fooling me. They could be fooling me really well. They could be going to like, this is a 4-year and 3 months in a secondary oak barrel. Well, that'd be really a waste of a new barrel though, wouldn't it? I mean, with white oak getting more and more rare, to only use a barrel for 3 months when you could use it for a new whiskey and let it sit in there for 8 to 10 years. I get it. I mean, a 3-month or a 6-month barrel that's you've charred it, you've done everything to it that keeps it legal. You could sell it. You could sell it to Ireland or to Scotland, where they will use those secondary maturation barrels, and they'll house their stuff in it. Okay, they end up making their money back off of it. But I'm an American whiskey man. I'd like to see those barrels get used. Now, no, I was just going to say, maybe that wouldn't be a used barrel. If it's a double oak, they have to use a second virgin oak barrel, newly charred or toasted or whatever. Okay. All right, let me see if I can get you some flavor. As it said, it's gotten just a little bit sweeter. It was a little bit, I want to use the word tannic. I don't know if that's fair. Earthy on the fresh crack, but as it sits, it's already opening up some. That oak is gorgeous. It's imparting those fruit flavors. That black cherry is just yelling at me. Beautiful flavor on that. Not as sweet as other double oaks. It is a little more earthy. It's got a slight leather note to it, which again I love. It does tend to give it, well, it's the oak. It's the extra oak. It does tend to give it some royalty. I don't know if that's a good word for it, but I think you understand what I mean when I call it that. It makes it a little more complex. That leather note for me, it's not always great. On this, it's great. Butterscotch is coming through. Not getting the vanilla so much. That oak is just gorgeous. Again, it's not a sweet pour. It's more fruity without being fruity. It's got those beautiful oak notes, a little bit of a nutty note. I'm going to go with pecan on this one. Again, because it's just got that earthy side to it, and pecans are a very earthy nut compared to like I could see it, hazelnut or a that almond. Ha! Woo! Almonds are sweet. Hazelnuts are even sweeter yet. The pecans tend to be a little on the earthy side. Walnuts are sweet. This has got some pecan on it when you first start it up, but then the fruit notes just take over. A little butterscotch on it. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to add some water to it. The longer it sits, the more I like it. And it hasn't even sat very long. I mean, I just opened it 10 minutes ago. It doesn't take long with this. Very nice. I'm only going to do 2 drops. Any more than that would be, I think, an insult. All right. And I don't have that much in the glass, so two drops is going to change this quite a bit, I think. Now, will it bring more bloom in, or will it take it away? That's always the question, because you never know if that heat is going to come back or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, then I've killed it. With 2 drops of water, I've killed it. It's going to be a fragile pour. If it comes back, then, all right, I haven't killed it. Still using my bourbon steward glass. This is the glass I got when I became an executive bourbon steward in May at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky. Definitely a lot of fun. Stave and Thief, the company that I guess works with Moonshine University. Really a great day. Fun. Great trip. It's a nice trip. Find a place to stay and explore the area. You can check out Old Forester and Angel's Envy and Evan Williams and Michter's and a whole bunch of Nulu, a whole bunch of area distilleries right there in the heart of downtown Louisville. Really kind of neat. All right. And of course, you're not far from Bardstown. You could really have a good time. All right, 2 drops of water. It did change it just a little bit. I've got a very distinct honey note, which makes me very happy. I love a honey note on my bourbon. And there it is. Me likey. I like that. That's good stuff. I did get some of the bloom back, so it's going to hold up on a cocktail. Now, granted, you're going to add more than 2 drops of something else when you make a cocktail, but I think it'll hold up at 100 proof with a really nice bloom. I think it'll be all right. Now, would I use this on a cocktail? I tend not to want to use like these higher priced, higher premium product type things in cocktails when I know that there's some really great options that'll hold up, like Old Granddad Bonded or something like that you could use that'll stick with the cocktail, not be, neutered. But some of these, I can't see mixing with them. Everybody's going to want to do their own thing. I get it. If you're a bourbon and Coke guy or a bourbon and ginger or what, I get it. I get it. Do what you want to do, and you're going to be able to taste the differences between this and this and this and this, whatever it is product you're putting in that. But I don't know. I think if I was going to do an old fashioned, I'd just stick to the Old Granddad or something along those lines. I don't see any point, me personally, in creating an old fashioned out of a premium whiskey. Excuse me, goodness, a premium whiskey. That's just me, though. I mean, if I'm going to do a rye drink, well, I guess you could do an old fashioned with that. But what's the other one? It's the rye one, Manhattan. I'll be using Rittenhouse. It's 100 proof. It's bottled and bond. It's got great flavor. It's a low rye. It's only a 51% rye, the Rittenhouse, but I'd be doing my rye cocktails out of that. But that's just me. All right. Hey, Luke is watching. How are you, Luke? Welcome aboard. All right, we're doing the Buzzard's Roost. This is the double oak. It's been out since April, but I just found it on the shelf the other day. There were 4 of them locally, And somebody told me about it and said, hey, do you like double oak? I said, yep. He goes, do you like do you like Buzzard Roost? I went, yep. So I went over, and then there were two when I got there, and this was one of the two. And at $56, one was enough. And I like to think that maybe there'll be more of this, but Buzzard Roost tends to do what they do, and you won't always find the same thing on the shelf all the time. This one, which is the cask strength rye, I think you'll find pretty well regularly, but we'll see what they do. We'll see. Still kind of a small company. They're only in 26 states, I think I saw, out of 50. So, you know, but you can order it online too. So, all right, one more of these and then we'll put it on ice. By the way, you know what this means, don't you?
Gorgeous ice sphere. It's a gorgeous ice sphere. Yeah. So gorgeous and so icy and so round and so very, very gorgeous.
It's gorgeous ice sphere. This one got a little frost on it. But ultimately, you warm it up a little bit, it's clear, it's beautiful. Somebody suggested I should go as a gorgeous ice sphere for Halloween. First of all, there's limits to what I'm willing to do to embarrass myself. Oh, don't get me wrong. I embarrass myself plenty. But I do have my limits. I'm not a costume guy. I'm not even a Halloween guy. There was a time when I loved Halloween. I went out of my way to decorate for Halloween. I'd never been, I mean, since I was a kid, I wasn't much of a costume guy. And even as a kid, I would wear a mask and, you know, something we'd buy at the store or something my mom would make. And that was about the extent of it. Never real big into costumes. And I'm still not. It just, I admire these people that like paint their faces and they go all out and they, you know, some of the costumes I see are incredible. I don't think I care that much about it to do it myself. I mean, there's been some really great and they're very creative. I remember one time, I think I was, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, something like that. I entered a costume contest in my middle school, and I was a vampire, and I had the fake plastic teeth and whatnot, and my cape was made out of a hefty trash bag, and I got 2nd place. I didn't paint my face or anything. It wasn't any of that. Didn't slick back my hair. Very low bar for success where I went to school. Trash bag cape. We did what we could do. It was a single income family. My dad took care of it all. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I was very blessed. All right, so the Buzzard's Roost Double Oak, no ED, oak, on ice. The caramels came out. I haven't gotten caramel before, but boy, that came out nicely on an ice sphere. Yeah. The vanillas are still there. Honey's still there. Butterscotch is a little subdued. Boy, that's actually kind of nice. That caramel that came out was really robust, beautiful. Getting a little less of the fruit, but that caramel came out of nowhere. Beautiful. This is a great buy. I think it's like $56 in the state of Ohio. Its MSRP is $45. So if you happen to be in another state, if somebody has it for $90, tell them they're full of hot air. MSRP on is $45. They're getting you, right? So, but in the state of Ohio, it's up a little bit more. At least it was when I purchased this. It might have been lower in April when it was first released, but right now I want to say it was $56. That just sounds right. I didn't keep the receipt. I rarely do. But anyhow, yeah, I like this one. If you're expecting this double oak to be sweet like the Woodford double oak, it isn't. At least not yet. And Woodford double oak does start off sweeter, But as it sits, it tends to really get sweet. Brown sugar goodness. If you're a sweet guy, you like that brown sugar goodness, you're going to love the Double Oak from Woodford after it has set for a couple of months. This one, I look forward to finding out about this one, what it's going to do. So, all right. So what is coming up next week? Well, this is number 287, I believe. So we're 13 away from the big 300. I have no idea what we're going to do for that big 300. We'll see. Don't know. I've made all sorts of plans in 2025 to do big things with the Bourbcast, and not one of those things came to fruition. Which is fine. I'm okay with it. It's all right. I enjoy doing what I do, and I enjoy how we do it, and I enjoy that you're here with me, which you don't have to be, and you are. So thank you for that. All right, so next week, though, we are going to profile an Ohio company. If you are not in Ohio, I don't know if you'll have access to this. I don't know if you can buy it online. I don't know. I have to look. I got to look online and find out. It has been 4 years since I purchased this product. I was on set for a movie. We were making a feature film in a county north of me, and somebody brought a bottle of this to set and knew that I was a whiskey guy and said, "You got to try this." And I was like, okay. So I did, and I really enjoyed it. I was surprised to find out that it's 140 proof. Do I have that right? 140? Yeah, boy. So this is what we get into what people in Ohio call hazmat. But I don't remember it drinking like 140. So we had this one last week. This is the Old Forester, and this one rang up at and still does at 132 proof, and it was hot. Almost too hot. At 132 proof, it was warm. And I shared it with my bourbon group on Thursday, and they were like, whoo! And they were drinking out of little communion cups, because I have those. If you haven't purchased communion cups for tastings, you ought to do it. Because why not? I mean, just tiny, really, they're called communion cups. It's the same thing you drink communion out of at church. Only it's not wine or grape juice, it's this. This is super. This is hot. So this one, when I tried it on set, it didn't seem to be that hot. For 140 proof, it didn't seem to be incredible. This one, it says it's to die for. It is a 100% straight rye whiskey, aged 4 years. It's bottled in bond. Interesting that it's 140 proof and bottled in bond. This may be the only BIB that I've seen that's more than 100 proof. But okay. The distiller is the Ernest Scarano Distillery. Now, this used to be out of Fremont, Ohio. Now it's out of Elmore, Ohio. And that's what we're going to be doing next week. And again, you can look at it. It's Ernest. Let me read it again. Scarano, S-C-A-R, like a scar, A-N-O, Scar, A-N-O, Distillery, Ernest Scar, A-N-O, Scarano, Distillery. Again, this is only $3.75. This is a half a fifth, so a tenth. I don't know. 140 proof. Again, I tried this on set. I thought it was delicious. So we are going to start getting, this is going to be a mini series throughout November. I've got 3 or 4 different whiskeys from Ernest Scarano Distillery in Elmore, and we're going to be doing those this month. I got a couple of other ones coming as well. Looking forward to getting into those. But I've been sitting on this series for 4 years, so it's time to open this up and try it out and see what you think. So this is what's coming up next week. If you are from Coachella Valley or from Albuquerque or from all these different states that watch beautiful bourbon, first of all, thank you for watching. Secondly, I will tell you that if If you want to have it shipped to you, you have to look online and see if they do that. You might be able to contact the distillery directly and get a shipping option. The Old Homicide in particular, I think you ought to get it. I think you ought to try it. Again, my recollection of this from 4 years ago is that 5 years ago. Oh my gosh. Time, man. It's one thing to be middle-aged and be faced with time. You get to be older than middle-aged and it shifts into passing gear. Good grief. In my mind, it's still summertime. Okay, next week, Ernest Scarano, The Old Homicide. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. You could be doing anything else, but you're here with me, and I deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. We will see you then.